Hello and welcome, members of the Wandaverse. I'm Hannah.
And I'm producer Nick.
And you're listening to episode 30 of Into the Wandaverse, your one and only source into all things Scarlet Witch and Friends.
30. Turning 30.
I'm turning 30. And I hit 18k followers over on TikTok, so it's a big week.
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I feel legitimate. I feel I feel like I can speak.
What's the plan for 20k? Because 10k we did a cake.
I really don't know. I was thinking, I don't know. I wrote on your phones, what should I do for 20k? Like, we did a live last time, and we were all on the live for 10k. 20's come, like, it's gonna be like about a year, I think, since I hit.
Yeah.
We're doing 10k a year now, baby. I'm still like poor. I'm follower poor. Anyway, enough about me. There's been news. We've had quite a lot of news this week.
News.
And it is Comic-Con, and while Marvel's not having a panel, they do seem to be announcing some stuff. So keep your eyes on Twitter is what I would.
This weekend, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's going to be a comic panel announcement, so we'll get to know what the next step for the Scarlet Witch is, hopefully.
Do you think that might include spoilers for, let's say spoilers, but may indicate the spoilers as to the Vision Scarlet Witch comic?
I think vaguely. I think vague spoilers, but I don't know. I think we know that they're going to survive it. I don't think the stakes are that high.
Okay.
But you think they're going to die?
No, I said this on our review episode where we talked about issue 2. Like, I feel like they're leaning towards like Vision and Scarlet Witch kind of becoming a bit more of a pair again.
I do think that. I wonder if we're going to extend this run into another, whether it will be a Scarlet Witch solo run or if it will be a. Though Steve Orlando said we're getting a new costume. So remember when there was that picture of the costume that I was obsessed with a while ago? I'm really hoping that's the costume that he's talking about.
Okay.
Because I think it was stunning, and I would love to see. I mean, I wish that we'd gotten more merch with the Dauntman costume because I love it. I know we've had it since 2022-ish, but it doesn't feel like we've had that long with this costume, to be fair. This costume was actually inspired by, we're going to be talking about the second half of Force Works, which blends into the Avengers Crossing plotline, which we're not going to be able to cover on this.
I never read the Crossing.
We'll cover it a different time, because it is technically a really significant storyline.
This is pre-2000s. Yeah.
The Crossing is kind of iconic, so we'll come back to it at some point. We're gonna end up just circling back around to the 90s so much, because again, Wanda was just really active in the 90s.
She was doing lots.
She was doing lots. So yeah, watch Comic-Con this week, and we will obviously we'll talk about that. I mean, maybe we're doing our Fantastic Four review after we see it tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow, as of recording tomorrow night, so probably today for listeners, because tomorrow? I don't know. Thursday. It is currently Wednesday, the 23rd of July. So Thursday, the 24th of July, we will be seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be doing our review shortly after, which we'll probably get Monday or Tuesday next week.
So yeah, if we're recording on Sunday, yeah, you'll have some Comic-Con thoughts. I don't know if the main panels will have happened on Sunday.
Sunday's usually the day, isn't it? Like, if I recall my Hall H.
Again, they're not
doing Hall H, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm recalling, like, it is usually the Sunday that's like the big news.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if we've heard the news by then. If we haven't, you'll get it the week after.
Yeah.
We'll spoil you, don't worry. And then D23 is around the corner as well. But we've had some little leaks out of Doomsday this week. Is that Steven Sater, who is the creator of Spring Awakening and a close personal friend of Joe Locke, said on a TikTok live this week that Joe's on the set of an Avengers movie.
Shock.
Whether that be Vision, because Vision Quest wrapped filming this week.
Yeah.
So whether that was that Joe was on the set of Vision Quest or that he was on the set of Doomsday, people are like, but he's filming in Leeds for the Heartstopper movie. I'm like, do you know how how easy it is to?
This isn't America.
No, Leeds and London are very easy to get between. Also, Joe was in London.
You people can't imagine how close Leeds is to London.
Yeah, he can drive. Yeah. Like, some of you are driving longer to work.
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, again, he was in London. People are like, oh, he lives in London. And I was like, yeah, but he's probably also on the Doomsday set. Also, Doomsday is going to go on for so long. I fear this movie will take so long, which is crazy because none of the Fantastic Four are on set now.
No.
But again, all this movie could be being filmed.
Do they all need to be on set at the same time?
I don't know. I mean, I Infinity War was filmed almost entirely in studio, and they're filming a lot more practically for this movie, which is good because the only practical scenes in Infinity War that were filmed on location were the Edinburgh sequence.
And then like, um,
Everything else was filmed.
Endgame was they got everybody together for the funeral. It was almost everybody. I think there was like one or two people, wasn't there, that they couldn't get for on the day.
I think everybody was there.
Everyone was there.
Everyone was there for the funeral, and everyone was there for the final battle
Yeah.
sequence. So, well, it's probably like that again. I mean, we know Sebastian has wrapped for the first time, but might be going back. So they're obviously filming in kind of segments, and the script is allegedly not finished. And they're now bringing in Michael Waldron, my close personal friend Michael Waldron, who we all know I love so deeply, and Wanda Twitter has no problems with at all.
I mean, yeah, there was the Feige interview, wasn't there? That's the Variety Feige interview, which is kind of damning. I didn't think it was meant to be damning,
I think
but
people are
it just kind of, I don't know.
I think people are taking it the wrong way. I think that everyone's like, right, we're just having a complete. He did not say complete reboot. He said reset,
Yeah.
and I think we're gonna be looking at something more like bringing in different characters from other universes to bring together to like different versions. I mean, I think that the characters that we are most likely to see an early recast of are Black Panther,
Yes.
and please be Idris.
Damson
Idris
Idris.
is my
Is that your shout?
yes. Come on. Well, come on now. Like, come on now. He's born for it.
It's a good shout.
I think that we will see potentially Hawkeye.
Recasting Hawkeye.
Well, I feel like that comic dynamic, like I just reread the Winter Soldier and Hawkeye run,
Yeah.
and I was so sad when I finished because it was so good and so fun. And when has Hawkeye ever been fun in the MCU?
I mean, the Whedonisms in Age of Ultron.
Yay.
Yay. Yeah. Okay.
So everyone is like really focused on people whose storylines aren't wrapped up. I think you are most likely to see recastings of people whose storylines are technically done, and they want to capitalize off that IP. So you're gonna see your Captain America, your Tony. He mentioned Tony Stark by name because Iron Man and Captain America are now they were not before, but they are now Marvel's leading characters, and like, that's who they're going to be recasting. People are talking about like people who are currently active in the MCU, much less likely to see a recast. I feel if the actor is young enough, then I think that the recasting will be much further down the line. People are terrified. Everyone's just thinking like the whole MCU is going to go out of the bucket hole, and I'm like, you have to remember, look at what's happening with Harry Potter right now. They have to make the series look exactly the same as the series is now because they already have a theme park that looks like. They're not going to completely change the MCU because they don't want to lose all the merchandising that they've already done. Like,
I mean, it's slightly different with Harry Potter because Harry Potter's only been around for Jesus Christ, like 30 years. But the Marvel's been around. I mean, what 40s, 30s. Human Torch,
yeah.
Submariner in the 30s. So like comic book iconography has been around since the 1930s. It's nearly 100 years. Like everybody, it's the iconography thing. Like you go to a person on the street, you show them the Superman logo. Spoilers, we're going to talk about Superman later. You show them the Superman logo, they're going to know it's from Superman.
Mm.
And I think we are at that point where, like, you show somebody the Spider-Man logo, they know that that person, whoever is wearing it, is Spider-Man. And I think they can kind of understand, like, X-Men, maybe not Fantastic Four, but we'll see. But, like, just that kind of just general iconography. It's not the same as Harry Potter, which is like they could have gotten away with doing a complete and utter refit, but they're not going to because obviously, like you said, they spent all this money on a theme park, but it's not bound to a theme. They're
I
not bound
just
to a
think,
they're not bound to a theme park. They're just bound to the general
yeah, I just think
iconography.
that they don't want to like. Well, there's a reason they won't recast Hugh Jackman. Like, I
Till he's 90. I know. It should be Taron Egerton in my opinion.
well, I was all for Daniel Radcliffe as
That's
Wolverine.
a good
It's
shout.
my favorite. But I just do think that we need to be less concerned about people who actively make money. Like people being concerned they're gonna recast Yelena. I'm like,
Really.
it's like we're 15 seconds in, guys. Like they're going to tie in what makes money, And I don't think the only way I could see them, and I'm gonna talk about it because I know you all want to. I I'm a person who is all for eventually recasting Elizabeth Olsen
Yeah,
because I want to see Wanda have
Romani.
Romani and continue to have a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am a fan of all three of the Spider-Men. I'm an Andrew Garfield girly because that's who I started with. But to me, I wouldn't want to see poor Tobey Maguire have to play Spider-Man as a 50-year-old. Like that doesn't appeal to me. Like I think that these characters should live forever, and I want Wanda to continue to have an impact on young women. And I think that casting a young Romani woman, but I think that they need to tie up Elizabeth's version first. I think ending on Multiverse of Madness for her story arc would be wholly unsatisfying,
No,
especially because her kids are currently active.
she needs the redemption.
She needs to.
We're in a story arc. We're at the point now with Wanda where this is her lowest point, aka dead. Um, question mark. Um, but like this, you need the redemption arc, and that's why Children's Crusade is so popular and very acclaimed, is because it provides a redemption arc for a character that you know arguably shouldn't have got to that point in the first place, but was given a redemption arc from a really like dark and low point, um, depending on your viewpoint, what you mean by low in the character's kind of evolution, or low in terms of the quality of the writing and the idea of the story.
Perfect.
But yeah, you're dealing with a redemption arc with Children's Crusade, and I think there's an opportunity to do that redemption arc. And Elizabeth Olsen's still pottering around, like still actively interested in Wanda, and at the end of the day, like hey, if Marvel can get Wesley Snipes back to work with Ryan Reynolds, then Elizabeth Olsen can come back to play Wanda.
And also, and the big I would say the biggest news we've had this week
Go on
for
then.
Wanda fans is that Matt Shakman, director of WandaVision, icon of my life,
Fantastic Four First Steps director, which is why he's currently on the press run.
he said to Screen Rant, they said, "Is Wanda dead? Is she gone?" And he said, "Wanda is never gone." And that's kind of a holy trinity now. We've had Kevin Feige say he wants to see Wanda back. We've had the Russo brothers say they'd like to see Wanda back. We've had Elizabeth say she's interested in coming back. And Matt Shakman says that Wanda is never gone.
Who else do you need?
I think I would feel really, really confident if she just announced her return. I I think my prediction is Vision Quest. I think that the story does not make sense if she does not appear in some form, because he's looking for his humanity. I think it would be a really weird show if we didn't have some kind of flashbacks to her. And I think that if it's true, if Steven Sater is right and Joe is on the set of, whether that be Vision Quest or I keep going to call it Infinity War, but it's Doomsday. Do you know what I mean?
Doomsday.
Doomsday. I think everything we've seen from that concept art, the leaked concept art, has been correct so far in terms of the leaks that have come out and what's happened. I'm considering them semi canonical. I don't know where Chris Pratt is. I literally don't. I never think of him. But monitoring where he is right now should probably be everyone's main priority to work out if the leaks are real or not.
Yeah, because Star Lord is rumored to return. Well, that's what the end of Guardians 3 was. Star Lord to return, wasn't
And
it?
also, he was in that artwork with Vision eating
Yes, he was.
pizza, and then he was in the artwork. So we probably should have kept our eyes on Chris Pratt. And
Can somebody do a Pratt
yeah,
watch?
can someone message us where, can Chris Pratt, could you just DM us and let us know where you are?
Yeah, ignore everything we've said about you in the past on this podcast.
Nick just brought me a copy of Jurassic World, which is my favorite Jurassic Park movie. Does that
That's
help?
the wrong take.
I don't care. If that's wrong, I don't want to be right.
Oh, oh.
I love Jurassic World. Um, yeah. So if you wanted to just let us know where you are, Chris, we'd really appreciate it. Thanks. Um,
Is that the end of the news? Because we're talking about Chris Pratt now. I think that's the end of the news.
I think so. I think that's the end of most of the news that we've had. We're gonna talk about Ironheart, the ending of Ironheart now. And
Oh yeah, yeah, we were going to do that.
this is spoilers. This episode is gonna be very much just kind of discussing the, as much as we are going to talk about the second half of Force Works, I think it's going to be a little bit more focused on where the MCU is moving to. I think because Fantastic Four is tomorrow, and
we saw
Like,
Superman and
mhm,
Ironheart finale. We think is a bit of a thing.
it's really good. So we both, obviously, this is just spoilers for Ironheart. So we said you had to watch it. If you didn't, that's not our fault.
Yeah, cut 5 minutes into the future or something on the episode.
So yeah,
I'll give a 5 minute timer. There we go.
we
We got
saw
5 minutes on
we
Ironheart.
saw Mephisto
Yes, Sacha
finally.
Baron Cohen.
I thought he was so good,
Yeah,
and
good
I
casting.
loved the tease of his real form in the spoon without blowing our load immediately. I think that because Ironheart was such a, yes, there was magic, but it was such a grounded show.
Yeah,
I feel like not having him red and smoky was a really good choice
yeah, that's
for
good.
the setting of the show. I think that the fact he teased that that's not his only client
Yeah,
was a really little, I was like, chef's kiss, because it can set up Ghost Rider, it can set up like Agatha,
yeah,
anyone. So I just thought that it was kind of the a really good, it's honestly, the Disney Plus shows do such a good job of introducing. I think it was as good as Death. I think
yeah.
that like both Agatha All Along and Ironheart have proved, and now Feige is saying that they're never gonna link in the TV shows with the movies again. Did you see that?
I did not.
Daredevil season 2 will not address the void. Why? It would be
Okay.
so interesting.
Yeah,
And I saw him also saying that Thunderbolt, he thinks Thunderbolts flopped because a lot of the characters debuted in
which
Disney Plus,
isn't true.
which isn't true. Only John Walker.
Only John Walker.
And yes, Elena appeared in Hawkeye, but
She was
was
in
Black
Black Widow.
Widow, and Ghost is from Ant-Man,
Yeah,
which made money.
lots of money.
How they could have, how Thunderbolts could have made $1 billion.
Do you ever think about that?
Yeah. Alpine being in it,
Yeah,
and also Zemo.
and also Zemo.
Yeah.
On the Ironheart thing, like we're getting this. We talked about it last episode, where there's this kind of marrying between the technological side of things and the magical side of things, and the you know that kind of Mephisto ending. Really quite bold. Like
Yeah.
it does set up a season two, really interesting season two. And like actually presents Riri Williams in a bit more of an interesting character than she really was in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, where it was just like, do we need her? Do we need this character in this movie?
I really did feel like, I think I think that moral ambiguity of that she did take the deal.
Yeah,
I mean, but I think it's believable.
yeah,
I think that the series justified the decision to the point where I was like, Riri, don't, but also like I get it,
yeah. I mean, she made the decision with the Hood in the first place, and like she doesn't seem to be the kind of character that really learns from her lessons. So if you're gonna double down with Mephisto, I guess.
It now also establishes what Mephisto can do and provide, which is, you know, it sets up potential returns for
Anybody.
anyone. Which again, people are always literally never endingly in my comments like, but if Wanda's dead, how will she come back? I'm like, have you like pick up a comic book? They're like, there are so many ways. First off, in her most recent comic run, she came back from the dead by passing through the different levels of witchcraft and like the witch's afterlife. Like, it's a comic book. It's not
Yeah, it
It
is. It's a
it's
comic book.
not it like these, I feel like people have forgotten that in phase one, like no one would ever really die. Like Coulson came, we had a whole death for Coulson, and then he
A
had
TV show.
an Agents of Shield
He had a
series.
whole TV show.
He was literally like, we blew a hole
But he
through
was an LMD at the end of the day, wasn't he? Was he an LMD? I can't
can't
remember.
remember. I know that they like, I remember that tahini was actually a like a code for something, but I
Tahiti.
yeah.
You
Sorry,
said
that's a
tahini.
sauce. Yeah,
That
sorry.
is also yeah.
There's a sauce. Yeah, I feel like people have forgotten how loosey goosey the MCU has always played with death. I think maybe because of Tony Stark's death in Endgame, I think that has.
I think it's a lot of it is to do with like people with movies are movies and television shows, in with the exception of something like I don't know Supernatural or EastEnders. They're predisposed to have this idea of once you're dead, you're dead. Like everyone, like that's it. There's a finality to it. Whereas like comic books, like it is this idea that nobody's dead. Nobody's ever dead in comic books. Like nobody's dead. You know, I even Gwen Stacy, who was the prime example of she stay dead, is
And Bucky
and
Barnes.
Bucky Barnes again is another character who's like they stay dead. Those were the two, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
just like Bucky Barnes and Gwen Stacy. You never bring these characters back from the dead.
And
What
now
they
Gwen is
did.
a major character.
Gwen is a major character, and Winter Soldier is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like
Same with Jason Todd.
same as just yeah, Jason Todd. Like you don't like comic books are this idea of like nobody ever stays dead, whereas like film and TV, we don't have this predisposition to it because I guess because we associate it with real life actors that we see age and kind of grow through the years. Um,
I feel like just because I spent my entire teen years watching Vampire Diaries where no one was ever dead.
I mean, mine's
Oh
Supernatural. That's
yeah.
why I kind of brought up the Supernatural thing.
Well, the CW the CW doesn't
Anything
respect.
CW
The CW has never respected death.
and EastEnders.
I was a Carnation Street girly, I'm afraid.
Um,
But yeah, so I think we need to remember this is comic book based and that Marvel's going to follow the money. I think is the the number one thing you guys that we all need to, because everybody's obsessed that Bucky's dying in Doomsday. My entire timeline is that, and it's just Seb Twitter completely losing their brains, and I'm like, guys, please.
that's a 5 minute wrap on Ironheart
Oh,
finale.
and we didn't. Well, yeah,
We did.
we did. We're just like this episode is flowing with the wind. Right. I guess we have to do the second half of Force Works now. I don't
Do we sound thrilled?
it's again it's not that I don't enjoy this run, it's that actually like I forgot how much of this was tied up in the crossing.
Yeah. So this is the thing that I really struggled with is that I've not read The Crossing. And like my complaint last episode where I talked about the first 11 issues, where I was like, you have to read this kind of issue to understand this. Like it's really heavy with that in this Force Works run. And I struggled with it. Um, where do you want to start?
I want to start with something positive and say I love how useful everybody is in this comic as
Yes.
compared to the what this comic does very well, and I've written it down here, is Dan Abnett has such a respect for Wanda's power levels. And he has such a level of respect for everybody's skills that are on this team. They make you believe that every member of this team is important. And that is something that Avengers issues, especially early ones, tend to suffer with. Like when you're going back to the 60s and early 70s, they will rely very heavily on one character's skills and then everybody else just gets defeated early and it's up to one person at the end. There's always a little bit of that in comic books, but this like these comics really justify every team member in a way that I actually just don't even see. Even in modern Avengers runs, they tend to sometimes, because they've got so many powerful characters on the team, they tend to forget to remind you why everybody is here. And I think that Dan Abnett, and he wrote the first Wanda solo run, he has such respect for her and her powers and finding creative ways for her to use them. And the artwork in the second half of Wanda is actually a lot better. We get a new Wanda outfit as of issue 16,
Mm-hmm.
which is her crossing outfit, which is what her current outfit is inspired by. And the crossing outfit is special for one, firstly, because she doesn't have a tiara. She actually has the headband instead, and she has the boots and the fit, and her hair will randomly go backwards and forwards between red and brown this entire goddamn time.
Yes.
Um, but I also do think like I'd written down in my notes. I feel like they were pointing out the mistakes of the TV show in this run, because one of the major conflicts that we see is Tony being unable to let Wanda lead, having asked her to lead the team, and that is a. And also, I love the relationship. If you're a Nat, Wanda Nat stan, there's some really good interactions between Wanda and Natasha in this run, discussing kind of what it means for Tony to continue to be dismissive of Wanda's approach and her as a leader. And I think that it adds complications and layers to um Wanda's story, and I really like it.
I think your point about the every kind of character getting something to do like and actually being proved to be useful is a very very valid point. Um, Also kind of genuinely maybe the end of the Force Work like issue 22, I guess like they all kind of leave and go their separate ways. I was like, kind of they kind of worked together like in a good way. Like, and it was kind of a bit like, oh, I mean,
I will never
20,
see Sentry again.
never see Century again
Which is such a shame
unless
because
I rewatch the '90s animation.
he's very much the Vision. I feel like they really wanted to use Vision here. I think we said this last episode, and they obviously Vision was over on the Avengers team. And what happened here is that Wanda went off to the Avengers, and Simon, spoilers, he's alive again.
Yeah, but he was like a
Corrupted.
corrupted
Yeah,
version from another
yeah.
universe or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
with
you do
who were the other
to
characters?
understand the end of Force Works, you do need to read The Crossing, um, which we'll cover completely separately, and you'll enjoy way more than this. The like it's a good. Everybody gets a new costume.
Oh, good.
What's awful though is that they then gave everybody weird versions of their costumes 15 seconds later because it was the 90s.
Yeah.
They gave them these updated costumes, and then they did some fun stuff with that.
Okay.
I can't wait for you to experience that. I feel like you're gonna open that comic and be like, what the
What is this?
who put the muffins in the freezer? Who did that? Wanda has like abs, like really intense abs.
Good for her.
She was working out. This yeah, the end of this run very much feels like if Iron Man the cartoon obviously decided to get rid of the Force Works team, and so they just stopped with trying with this team, which is a shame because I do feel like it had potential. Especially, I feel like Julia also gets a really good as in Spider Woman. She has some really wonderful moments in here, and they really do try to actually explore because Julia has as a female character. Julia's relationship with her daughter is actually quite interesting in that like they don't make Rachel all the time this throwaway child character. They very much explore what it means to be a mother and uh, and a superhero, and that's always been a theme in Marvel. But because it's so often written by men, I think that this working mother storyline they often treat it just kind of like a minor inconvenience. And I think it'll be interesting to see what Fantastic Four does with this going forward, since they're going with the baby angle.
Yeah.
But I think it as a woman, it was quite refreshing in this to see Julia continue to remember, because I feel like sometimes characters tend to forget in media in general they have kids. Like look at Friends, like if Ben's not on screen, like Ross isn't like acknowledging it. So I think that it is really nice to see Rachel and continually be acknowledged by the team as well, which I think is something that quite feminist actually is to never forget. That is never forgotten about Julia's identity throughout this entire run, and also she wears so many good looks. She is absolutely killing it, killing the game. Um, yeah, the run you can see by the end of the run who is going to continue to be a significant character going forward and who isn't. I feel like we kind of fade Sentry out quite slowly into the background. Oh, same with I feel like poor old John Walker gets
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels.
I really like John Walker slash US agent slash Jack Daniels. I is a character that I didn't really like very much in any kind of media before this. And I honestly came to the end of this run and then I was like, you know what? I'm actually pro US agent on this. Like, it's a really interesting idea of somebody who wants to be Captain America but is just a bit shit. Um, and I think he does try his best,
Mm-hmm.
but again, he's just a bit shit.
He really I do think that Wyatt Russell, I feel like he read this run somehow for
Hmm?
this. John Walker would have a taco shield.
Yeah,
He would. I think they both kind of get faded off into the background a little bit towards the end of this run because Spider Woman will always be relevant, Iron Man relevant, and Wanda would go on to have a very active end of the 90s iconicism in the George Perez run, and um, so many new costumes. Wanda was about to have a very active 10 years and then be gone for the next five.
yeah,
And so I think that that's evident. It does just kind of peter out this run.
it does. It doesn't
In
end with a bang.
well, no, because the bang is in the
The bang is
crossing,
the crossing,
and
yeah.
then like so, it's very difficult to discuss the end of this run because of the fact that you really have to read the crossing. But what the good things about four. I'm gonna go again. We've kind of we spent a lot of last episode being like, so I'm gonna kind of try and focus on the good because I think that
The
this
art is a lot better.
the art gets better. I love the crossing outfit that was made by Mike Diodato, the crossing outfit for Wanda. Love to acknowledge whoever designed the costume. Um, it's gorgeous. Allegedly, we're getting a figure of that next year.
Okay.
I think it's the anniversary of the crossing next year.
What, 96?
96. I think it's the anniversary,
Okay.
possibly. Question mark. Maybe. It could be.
90, yeah, 95 actually. It was,
So it's this year,
it is
actually.
this year, July 95. The last issue was December 95.
When I was born during the crossing, baby.
Good for you.
Thank you. Um, yeah, I think that what is good is the characters in the individual characterizations are good. They do a good job of addressing conflict within the team in that we don't see like it's not melodramatic. There's a real we see from the beginning Tony's like I want to make you leader and they slowly unpick like he undermines her a bunch of times.
Yep.
It blows up pretty big style and like you have they bring in a I just love that they brought in a woman to discuss it. I'm so happy that it was and it's lovely that it's Natasha because Natasha's obviously going and running the Avengers. I don't know what was going on during that Avengers run, so it's so hard in the 90s because everything's so connected. But I think that was really nice touch. I like um the exploration of Jack or John. It's so character I enjoy. Sentry just kind of trying to find his way. It's a shame that he has disappeared from Earth.
I mean, he kind of shows up like. I mean, I did a bit of kind of looking at
Nick
Sentry
really
actually.
likes Sentry.
I do genuinely actually like Sentry. We
Nick become the one Sentry stan. And not that everyone else is like, I love Bob Reynolds. And Nick's like, no. Give me the weirdo from another Earth.
yeah, why not? He shows up like by the looks of it in like the Deadpool stuff most recently. Which I guess makes a little bit more sense. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's anyway. Nick really liked him, but yeah, I think this was an interesting team. It was a good set of characters to put together. I feel. I think that John Walker actually works better than Hawkeye in the TV series. Mostly because I feel like poor Clint. I think Clint is at his best when they play his kind of arrogance, kind of more jokey. Then he sometimes just ends up a bit too much Hank Pym adjacent in the comics. Too much. They go too far down the asshole track with Clint sometimes. Whereas John Walker works as an asshole. Um, I do feel like the characters they bring in from other teams when they're just in Force Works, like the appearances by Captain America, the appearances by Agatha Harkness. The cameos are good cameos. Um, there are some really good plot ideas in there. I just think that they were hampered by um too many crossovers
Yep.
and some just it being the 90s.
I mean, we revisit kind of like the second part of the storyline, don't we, with that Civil War. And
But we're being clear that's about the two Eastern European countries.
yeah, the two
Vaguely Cold War ass.
Cold War, yeah, like this fall of Russia, Soviet Russia thing
Uh-huh.
that kind of goes on, and it doesn't end with the kind of reveal that I kind of wanted it to. Like the guy that was meant to be the big bad, like wasn't the big bad in the first issue, and you're like, oh, we're actually going to explore the fact that this guy's a lot more complicated, and then he just shows up and he's just like, no, I'm actually am evil and bad, and it's like, well, clearly the writers just kind of gave up on that, or either were told not to not to pursue
Mm-hmm.
a bit more of a complicated idea, because like that actually might have led to a bit of dramatic tension, because one half of the team saw this bad as like, the evil guy that was like killing all these people, and then the other half saw him as, oh no, he's actually a hero trying to stop and actually trying to do right by his country, and those two kind of like opposing forces never really met. It was kind of like disappointing, and it does feel as though it's like, right, we're now into the crossing, like that we need to be the tie-in comic that like fills in a bit of like color into the in between the panels that you're seeing in the main event, and that's honestly how it feels. The artwork is genuinely a lot better than the first few issues. I said this last time, where like it felt like the issues were going from your early '90s kind of style, where it feels very Rob Liefeld esque, and to the more modern kind of style. We're actually seeing more of a more. We're seeing the comic book style more get progressive, and it's really interesting to see that in this 22 issue run, where like it genuinely feels like we are seeing a progression in comic book art style just in general, in like a limited series. Usually you don't see that. Usually in a limited series it's like, well, nowadays especially, it's like you have a one artist and then that's kind of it for your 6 issue run. Whereas this was a 22 issue run that ran for a couple of years, so
Yeah.
it got to go across like an era of time, 1994 to 1996, and it felt like it was really covering like this crossover in time in comic
Hmm.
books. And
Well, we went from the kind of early 90s into the mid
yeah,
90s through this run very specifically.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's Forceworks.
I guess, I
We'll
guess.
probably revisit it when we do the crossing.
I mean, we'll reference it when we cover the crossing, I guess.
Yeah, and if we will reach out to anyone who is involved in this and maybe we'll revisit it
Hopefully, try and pick their brains. We are trying to get hold of people that worked on these kind of things.
because we
Anybody who knows Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning,
hit
um,
us up. We
yeah,
Yeah, we obviously, like, we're both 90s babies, so this is
yeah.
our heyday. But we're gonna talk about Superman now. If you've not seen it, which I think most people have.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll do. We'll do we do spoilers?
No, we're gonna talk about full of spoilers. If you've not seen it, just skip to the end.
Yeah.
Did you?
Should I give us 7 minutes on Superman?
Okay. I don't know why we have these prescribed time scales. No one's coming to our house to stop us from talking. Is that what Nick? No one's holding you prisoner.
You might be.
Actually, yeah. I mean, after this ends on live the other night, everyone was like, "Has Nick started shipping Stucky yet?" And they sent me a bunch of Stucky edits to show you.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
you missed that. Everybody was like, "So you were the subject of the live for so long the other night." Everyone was like, "Who's producing Nick? Like, what does he do?" And I was like, "Oh, he's like my podcast. Like, who is he? Like, this enigma? Who is he from the podcast?" Even though you introduce yourself every week, it's because you don't post anywhere, so no one knows what it is that you do.
Yeah.
But and then they were like, "Does Nick ship Stucky yet?" And I was like, "No, Nick doesn't says he doesn't get it." And so they're like, "Right, let me send." So I've got like an inbox full of edits of Stucky edits
Okay.
to show you.
I'm an enigma wrapped in a question mark. So
Your hair is sticking out like a chicken right
thank
now.
you.
Just we're audio only, but I have the pleasure. But yeah, no, the people think that you need to ship Stucky.
Okay.
Um,
What do the people want us to talk about when it comes to Superman then?
I think people have asked me a lot what I thought about it,
Yep.
and what I thought I'm gonna start this by saying, look, I have nothing but respect for James Gunn in that I think that he makes the movies he wants to make, and I think that a lot of people really enjoy them. I am not the biggest fan of his directorial and writing style. That is just my personal. I've never been a big Guardians girly. It's not my thing. And so I knew going into it that it is a James Gunn film. And I was ready to kind of suspend that. And I thought that for a lot of the movie, I was able to do that. I really enjoyed the portrayal of Lois Lane. I enjoyed the commitment to showing the Daily Planet as a newspaper. I enjoyed Lex Luthor. I thought it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. It was a great summer blockbuster. I didn't love the ending, and I felt that's where it started to James Gunnify itself a little bit. But I really did enjoy it, and I think that it was a good, positive step forward for the DC universe. I'm excited to see. There's a lot of characters in DC I'm excited to see. I'm not a huge Superman girly, and there was none of my faves in this movie. Like, I am way more Gotham based as a person. That is just who I am. But I did have a lot of fun, and Nick really liked it.
Yeah. So kind of counter to Hannah, like James Gunn is a director that I've been kind of following since I've been getting more interested in movies. So came out in 2006 when I was 16, and like I that was when I was starting to buy Empire magazine and starting to understand they're starting to get more into movies. So Slither was a very early DVD purchase for me when I was like 17, 18. And like I love this movie. It's gross, it's disgusting. It has a really sweet kind of heart at the center of it. And it's really quite funny. And then like Super came out in 2010, which is this Rainn Wilson, Ellen Page, or Elliot Page, but then they were known as Ellen Page, kind of comedy about a guy who Kevin Bacon steals his wife, Liv Tyler, and he decides to go on a bit of a revenge mission, dresses up as a superhero called Red Crimson, I think his name was, and basically hits people with a wrench. Um, yeah, and then like Guardians came out, and it was kind of like interesting to see this guy who do these like really weird, like he was a trauma guy, but he was these really weird kind of movies going into the superhero sphere and going into the Marvel machine, and kind of come out of it on the other side actually a bit more swinging than before he went in, and actually kind of proving that you can be a bit more kind of creative
I
in this machine.
I do really respect that he has a creative vision and that he executes it every time. And I think that that is something rare and interesting, especially within the Marvel, within the superhero machine in general. I mean, I guess Zack Snyder very much did what he was gonna be doing.
Yeah,
Again, I am like my favorite DC movie, and Nick's about to hit me in the head again. Is the original Suicide Squad movie? I really
it's
like
David Ayer
the
one
David Ayer one. I know it's just me, but that is what I
and my fiance.
my yeah, Emily, we both love the movie, and the reason I have red hair is because of that movie. This is lore, and people ask me about this all the time. I know you're like, why are we talking about this? My red hair. I'll get it on record for you. So I dyed my hair platinum blonde to look like Harley Quinn and Daenerys Targaryen, but I was cosplaying Harley Quinn at the time. I dyed my hair platinum blonde, and I didn't know. Like, I was young and stupid, and she was like, "Let me put some silver in it," and I was like, "No, I want it to be platinum," and she's like, "Yeah, but it'll look bad," and I was like, "No," because I wanted it to look like Harley's, and she didn't have um the thing at the toner in it, and I was like, no, I'm just not going to tone my hair like an idiot. And then I went to visit your fiance up in the Highlands, and we swam in the sea. And if you know this about platinum hair, if you put seawater on it, it can go kind of green and orange. And so I was like, oh my god, my hair looks horrendous. What do I do? And I was like, right, I just got to dye it back to brown. I got to go back brown. So, but if you don't know this, if you shove brown dye on platinum hair, it will go ginger. And this is before Wanda is ginger in the MCU. She's still brunette at this point. So I shove at 10 o'clock at night, I shove brown dye on platinum hair. It goes ginger. I freak out. There's this video of me, and I'm like, oh, I'm ginger. I don't know what to do. I'm ginger. And that's how I sound. I'm in a Tesco's having a breakdown. And everyone's like, oh my god, you look really good ginger. I'm like, no, I don't. I look awful. And I actually dyed my hair really dark brown, and it looked terrible because I looked really pale, like I was dying. And everyone's like, you should go back red. And then I've just been red ever since. So it wasn't a Wanda thing. If anything, Harley Quinn is to blame for me being a ginger.
So there's some lore drop for you guys. Back to the gun of it all. um, yeah, no, it was really interesting to see him go for this Marvel machine, and then obviously the fallout with that Suicide Squad, which I really like that movie a lot. I really, really do like that movie a lot. And then he kind of, finished his trilogy, which I was really happy about. His Superman, um, I see a lot of the kind of the gun machinations kind of going on, and I understand what you mean, but it's a lot of fun, and there's so much hope in this movie.
Yeah.
Like after years and years and years, and I was talking to people about this. Like, it feels like we are this. We're back to that feeling. I was back to that feeling of seeing the Raimi Spider-Man, the first two Raimi Spider-Mans, where I was like, I'm feeling the sense of hope. I'm feeling the sense
Uh
of
huh.
goodness rather than the emo, dour, cynical. I'm not these are slight criticisms, but this is just observations. There is a cynicism to the Marvel universe from the get-go. This is underlying, like, may need to make a snide comment where we're all kind of stood in our spandex outfits. which they never really they haven't really grew out of. Whereas like there's a real sense of sincerity and hope and fun to this Superman movie, and like I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I'm gonna wait until it comes out on Blu-ray so I can sit and watch it at home and kind of like properly kind of digest it
Really,
without an
because you
audience
have
around.
unlimited cards. Why don't you just go and see it again in cinemas?
Time.
Okay. If
um,
you really were a fan, then you were just go. It's
that's
because
the noise for you all.
yeah,
Um,
it's because he wants to watch Rush 2013 again.
so, so I liked Superman a lot. I really really did. Um,
What I hope the MCU can learn from this is that first off, cute sells. Like I'm not just talking about Alpine. I mean, crypto
Crypto.
is a sensation.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's been a long time since like we didn't like Goose. I guess they vaguely cap. I guess Groot is their biggest like
Groot's the biggest one. Baby Groot.
baby Groot, but like bring in the Marvel pets. Like bring them in. Like be unafraid.
Jeff the Land Shark.
Well, yeah, he's our. I just don't get it. And for whatever reason, I just don't get.
You don't get Jeff the Land
I think
Shark.
he's cute-ish, but like I just don't have the same. I don't have the gene.
I think it's because like he's associated a lot with Gwenpool, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not in that
Okay,
sphere.
yeah,
I don't. Everybody like I just not. I say like my creature's fluffier.
they will bring in Jeff the Land Shark at some point
Oh
for the
yeah,
MCU.
but I don't know how because the CGI of it all.
Yeah,
I'm happy we get a Rivals cartoon. That's my like big hope.
yeah,
But I really want the MCU to take from Superman. First off, that also romance matters.
yes,
12 minutes. That 12 minutes of dialogue we had.
and yeah, dialogue where things were spoken and there was nothing going on, and it was except dialogue and character development and discussing theme, and it was like yes.
I hope that I've heard that Fantastic Four does go into reading.
We'll get into
But
Fantastic Four
I
predictions in a minute.
need them. I need my movies to be less sterile in general. I need romance.
Hot, hot.
I need romance back, baby. I'm so tired of everyone. Literally, my like. Look, I enjoy platonic friendships and relationships so much,
Yeah.
but God, do I want some romance in my life? Every time people were like I. Fine if you don't ship Bob and Yelena, but people being like, it's disgusting if you ship it. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm sorry, like Lewis Pullman and Florence Pugh are two hot people. Why is wrong with people? They don't want hot people to be hot.
I don't understand. Like I just don't understand. And or people are like, ship. I love when Marvel was at its funniest in like 2012 when people were shipping people that never met just because like
They were trying to latch on to
they
something.
thought it was fun. Like let's like comic books are full of fun relationships and pairings, and like Lois, obviously Superman and Lois are like an iconic pairing where like that's it's your. But it's crazy because our iconic pairing is like Steve and Sharon.
I mean, like, yeah, I don't think the MCU fully recovered from Natasha and Bruce Banner. Like,
No,
we didn't recover from that
Natasha's like five iconic relationships, and
in the
instead,
comics. Like,
we
since
have.
then,
Well, she's currently back with. Well, she's been with Bucky for like a long.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Winter Widow
The
supremacy.
hottest we kind of got was Steve and Natasha in that kind of like that scene in Winter Soldier where they're like going through the supermarket and they're like being flirty. They were like again like this idea of like two hot people like being hot on screen, and like the Marvel has this
No,
kind
the
of like
hottest
sense
we
of
ever got was "You're My Mission" when he's punching. It's so true. I vote in the comments, right? Right. Prove. I want to prove something to Nick. If you tell me what you think the hottest moment in the MCU is, and I bet you nobody says
yeah
the Winter Soldier. Well, they do. They will say the Winter Soldier moment, but it won't be.
that Winter
It
Soldier
will
moment.
be the. It will be when I'm with you to the end of the line when he's punching him.
But as I said, like we there has been this sense of sterility towards the MCU for a long time, and like Brosnahan and Carissa are hot. They're hot people, and like they have real chemistry. I kind of feel for Rachel Brosnahan's husband a little bit. Um,
I don't act. It's called acting.
it's called acting, but you see them on the press tour, and you're
It's
like,
called acting.
oh, okay,
We're not. No real people shipping here. No real people shipping. Only Stucky.
only Stucky.
But I think that that is something that I really want them to take away from. Also, like,
Color.
how
Sorry.
deep, color, how deep the relationship is between Clark and Lex as well. Like the levels of that hatred and like all the different things we learned about Lex within that movie. Think how many things we learned about him as a character.
Think how many things we learned about Baron Zemo in a TV show, a movie.
That's a bad example because that is actually one that they did develop.
Well, I'm just saying, like Lex Luthor in this Superman movie was what 2 hours long. We learned
Yeah.
so much about him. It took a whole TV show and a movie for us to get any remotely
You
close
know
to
what?
Baron
You know
Zemo.
what's crazy is I've been in my Civil War era. That's all I'm doing at the moment, as you can see from
Yeah,
behind
yeah,
me. Is how little like when I've been reanalyzing this movie, and Zemo is the most interesting part possibly. Like he's one of the most interesting Marvel villains in general. The what they ended up doing with him is so complicated, and he's in none of the marketing. Like does not, it's not a thing. Like you look at the, I have the sticker book and stuff. He's not in the sticker book.
what?
No, he's not in the sticker book. He's like in none of the marketing. Didn't get a Funko Pop. Like none of it. Even in the heyday where everything that breathes got a Funko Pop.
Baron
Knows
Zemo,
knows
Civil War, Baron Zemo's in that one.
nosy no, like has Daniel Bruhl absolutely acting his arse off for that movie. Has like he has like his scenes are dark. Like he's waterboarding a guy. Like again, so interesting. Some of the Russo brothers' best work in terms of like you know and like the layers they put into why how he hates Hydra, but he like it's all for Sokovia, but he calls Sokovia a failed state, all this stuff. And then you look at the marketing
Yeah,
and he does not appear. Crossbones is marketed as the main.
Crossbones is quite everywhere in there.
Did you see the Frank Grillo went to the Fantastic Four premiere and the caption was Marvel traitor Frank Grillo?
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite part is all the memes of people being like Brock Rumlow always at the scene of the crime of arresting America's most friendly superhero. um, yeah, he very much is playing this like.
So overall, we both like Superman a lot.
Mhm.
There are a lot of lessons that we think Marvel can kind of take from it.
Mhm.
Even Feige himself has like come out and said that we can learn lessons from Superman, and I guess that's kind of telling. There was something I heard on one of the podcasts I listened to. They basically said that they heard that when he delivered Superman to the execs at Warner Brothers, and there was no notes, which is like quite an impressive kind of thing.
Mhm.
So it indicates that you it pays to kind of give somebody a bit of vision and actually trust them to that vision.
I really, really, really think that Marvel could learn a lesson, and I think I saw James Gunn saying this in sitting down, and it's what we've been asking for a long time, is for them to actually define what the point of each phase is, and for it to again feel like we are working towards an overarching. If we're going to have this thing that is this interconnected universe, I think they're now trying to make things less connected, and I think that's not the lesson we were trying to get.
We're trying to get to the incursions. I think is the what they're trying to get at.
Yeah, but I think that we needed to sit down and somebody needed to draw a timeline and be like, we need to get from A to B, and how do these projects fit into getting to A to B? I think that that's really important, and I think that again, as somebody I'm currently in phase one, I haven't gotten a lot further with my rewatch because I'm too afraid to watch The Incredible Hulk, and also I've been really busy watching um
The 2013 movie Rush, directed by Ron Howard, starring Daniel Brühl and Chris Hemsworth and Olivia Wilde.
yeah.
That movie,
Yeah, that one. I've been really
yeah,
busy with that.
about the Formula One people, Nicky Lauda and
Yeah,
James Hunt.
yeah, it's my favorite movie. I'm really busy with that at the moment, so imagine I turn off that to watch The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, a bit of a step down.
Yeah. So
We need to get into some Fantastic Four
predictions,
predictions.
right? Yeah, Fantastic Four predictions. I predict it's gonna be good. I'm gonna straight up say it. I think it's gonna be good.
Um, I think after the high of Superman, I'm gonna feel a little bit disappointed. Um,
Get off
like
the podcast. Don't want you here. No way. No. Matt Shankman doesn't know. No. You forfeited your opinion now. You get to talk.
can I
No, you're
finish?
Out.
Can I
No,
finish?
out. No, sit down. No, no.
So you got the hope and like the fun and the color of Superman. I feel like we are gonna get some sort of like version of the Fantastic Four that is going to be a lot more kind of upbeat and especially a lot less dour than say the 2015 version. Um, but I feel like we are still going to have the Marvel kind of machinations kind of on show a little bit, and it's gonna I feel like at the end of the movie we'll get the standard Doctor Doom kind of cameo thing, and the Russo brothers have directed a scene or stuff like that. Um, I feel like I'm hoping for a movie that is not going to be what we're going to get, and I'm hoping to be proven wrong. I really want to be proven wrong. Um, I just feel like I don't know, like I feel
I
like
think
I saw Superman first, and I'm
I think
just
you're forgetting that. I think that I don't know how it's happened, but everybody liked Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was a
yeah.
really good movie. I think we're going three for three. I'm just ignoring Brave New World. I'm sorry, I won't be acknowledging it. I
What's the
think
third? What's the third one?
well, I think we're going super. I was saying superhero movies in
Oh,
general.
right, outside of Marvel.
I think we're going three for three in terms of superhero movies this year.
3 asterisks.
Yeah, I do. I think that they're all very different. I think they're all doing different things. And I just don't know how a movie that has I herald his beginning, I herald your end, I herald Galactus. That was so iconic.
Yeah,
No, I think I my prediction is that I think this movie is going to be I think everybody needs to lower their expectations in terms of this linking into the main MCU. I think from what Matt Shackman has said, the actual movie part is going to be focused entirely on the Fantastic Four, and
in
I've
their own
heard
separate universe.
I've
Though.
heard it's very from I've spoken to people who've seen it, who saw previews. Thank you for giving me your opinions. Who said that it's very character focused and it's very about the relationship between these four people, and it's not an or they obviously they get their we see them get their powers in a flashback, which we knew from the trailers. I have not had that confirmed, but that's what I'm assuming. But it's about how they learn to cope with those powers and what it means to be a family, which I think is good. I think that focusing in on this singular symbiotic relationship between the four of them is what the Fantastic Four is all about. They are Marvel's first family, and I think that that is what this movie is about. And I think that I've heard that like Sue is very much the star, and I think she deserves that. I think that she's never had that opportunity in any of the Fantastic Four iterations before now.
I mean, the most memorable thing about Sue Storm in the 2015 one is the fact that her hair kept changing.
Yes, the wig.
The wig.
I when I was rewatching that, me and Amy Lee we watched all of the Fantastic Four except Silver Surfer
Yeah,
because it wasn't on. We couldn't find it for whatever reason,
yeah.
and I might watch that today. No, I won't. I'm gonna watch Rush. um, but um the wig was so bad. Like you could see how many reshoots there were because of her hair specifically. But I think that I just think there's room for all. I think there's room for both of these projects. I don't think that it's like when we had, when it was X-Men Apocalypse the same year that it was Civil War. You were very much trying to
2016, wasn't it?
yeah.
So that was also yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Suicide Squad as well.
Suicide Squad was the same year.
Yeah, that
No, 20. Yeah, Suicide Squad was the same year.
yeah, it was very much a team. I think so. Yeah, I think that that's what I think that there's room for all three, and the score sounds beautiful.
Giacchino, I
Have
love it.
you heard the Herbie lullaby?
I haven't. Don't want to hear it until we get
It's
to the cinema.
it's I just think I think Herbie's a good merchandising opportunity.
Yeah,
I just see maybe I'm just like a cynical little capitalist, but like I like when a movie can capitalize on a gimmick. Like I'm here for it.
I
I,
mean that's the opposite of being cynical.
oh
You're loving capitalism. You're
well,
yeah,
I have a Labubu's.
yeah. You've bought
The
into
Labubu Dubai chocolate crumble cookie Benson Boone.
Dubai chocolate. Yeah,
We in this house we have unboxed Labubus. We tried the Dubai chocolate. We recently tried. Amy Lee recently tried the viral Marks and Spencer sandwich. We will just do anything for the capitalism of it all.
yeah. All hail our overlords.
But yeah, I'm going into this with. I think what Superman taught me was to be full of hope and kindness, and that's what I
What do you
feel.
predict the post credits is going to be?
I do think it's gonna be I don't think it's gonna be as big as everyone thinks it is. I don't think we'll see the other universe. I think it's just gonna be a Doom tease.
I reckon it'll be a Doom tease.
I don't think it's gonna be. I think everybody's hoping for the Thunderbolts, but I don't think we're gonna get that. I think that it's gonna be. I still think it's gonna be focused on the Fantastic Four. I think from what Matt Shackman said, this project is about them, and we'll finish with them.
Yep.
And I also think that we might. I've heard that the second. All I've heard about it is the second post credit scene is just fun. So I wonder if we'll see some of the other Fantastic Fours.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, I think it'll be a Doom tease. There is only one more Marvel movie until Doomsday, and that is Spider-Man: Brand New Day.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yes,
I've heard so many cool, good things about that this week, though.
Kevin Feige confirmed it's street level.
Yeah, and they've shut down so much of Glasgow to do it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Okay, so next time you see us, we will be reviewing the Fantastic Four. That's our next episode.
Yeah.
And if you can't wait to see us, if you're just really desperate for more me, you can find me over at Into the Wonderverse on TikTok, the Wonderverse on Instagram, the Wonderverse on Twitter, pretty much anywhere. If you look for Into the Wonderverse, I'm there. I'm on Letterboxd. You can watch me just rush every single day if that's what you're into.
Yeah.
I'm also I am doing a Marvel rewatch, so
sort
of sometimes maybe.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok at the Film Nick. My most active thing is Letterboxd, the Film Nick, where I'm currently working my way through the Apes movies
And being wrong.
And apparently being wrong. I don't understand why. What I've done this time has been wrong.
No, not just a general warning.
I did deduct
points
half a star.
Yeah, but you didn't give Rush 5 stars. You re-put it down as 4 stars, and I really thought you were going to reevaluate that, and then you didn't.
It's still 4.
Why? Why didn't it get 5?
I just don't think it's a 5-star movie.
Well, we can discuss that at a separate time. Thank you so much to Lily for our beautiful podcast art. We've been supervised today by our secondary producer, the Wanda Hannah. She has been contributing so much to this episode. Wouldn't you agree, Nick?
Yeah. Check out the Into the Wonderverse socials to see.
See her co-hosting. And thank you so much to Melody Ray Griffiths for the music. And until I see you next time, stay magical. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are we going? Is it on? It's been on this whole time.